Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Corona Corner. Sorry for my throat. I just got back from Anthony Robbins' Unleash the Power Within this weekend. It's 4 days of yelling and crying and inner emotional work. Redesigning my life, my future, what I want, who I am, my beliefs, and my guest today. This is a different format. I usually live stream, so this is different for me. It's my first guest that's like not just a friend or talking about useless shit. This is I brought somebody here who's an expert who can teach you stuff. So my guest today is Cutz. He's a naturopathic practitioner, specializes in detoxification, lymphatic drainage, non-invasive surgery, and microcirculation. So Cutz, welcome.
Hi, thank you.
Yeah. So actually, what is a naturopathic practitioner?
Pretty much naturopathic practicing is just practicing the natural path. Yeah. So it's not your study of Western medicine or how to use chemical things to heal. Actually, it's going to be biochemical things and what God gave us.
The plants and all the good things.
Yeah, pretty much. Mm-hmm. So naturopathic practicing is just a different angle, and it's an understanding of other things like biomagnetism and pH and lots of things that have different variables in the body that actually matter.
Yeah. I learned a lot about that this week, and they talked about how your blood cells are negatively charged, and that's what allows them to bounce off each other. Mm-hmm. And if you eat a lot of sugars or whatever, it messes with that charge, so they stick together?
Correct. So lots of virus, bacteria, disease, environmental pollutants, heavy metals, they're positively charged. Yeah. So imagine if you're trying to have energy flow through your body and they're negatively charged blood cells and they're getting resisted by all the garbage that goes into the bloodstream. Mm-hmm. So all that power goes right into those things, and it kind of slows down the frequency of how your body's powered, you know? Think about your heart. Your heart is negatively charged too as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so you're like a big battery.
Yeah.
Your brain is positively charged.
Transmitters.
Well, that's your receiver, and then your heart is your transmitter.
Yeah.
So every time your heart beats, it sends out an EMP, an electromagnetic pulse, which is the charge in those cells.
I read too that the heart has memory cells too. So it's the one that's actually in control. Mm-hmm. It's sending the messages to the brain.
Exactly.
Like, oh dang.
So it's like the masculine energy of the body, which is important, and then also the receiving, which is
that part. So I want to people to get to know you a bit more. So like, tell us about yourself. What was your life like growing up? What got you into health? Why did you choose this path?
I've always been into health, into just like bodybuilding, going to the gym, exercising, keeping myself fit, and then just being kind of amazed at like what you can do with your body and how I just always been fascinated by the body, period, and wondering what I can do.
Well, yeah, man. You're super lean.
Oh, I'm kind of small right now, man.
Last time I remember, you were pretty. Well, I mean, you still look great to me. I wish I had that.
Man.
Like, I want all the vascular stuff.
Yeah, it's because it's getting hot out. So, spring equinox coming up. But yeah, growing up was more so like I grew up on the East Coast, so different type of mentality. It's more like a lot of go-getters out there. So that kind of.
Are you saying everybody here is lazy?
I mean, not lazy, but it's a different feel out here. Yeah, everybody has their style. It's California, you know?
That's what I hear too. Like, New York is a very masculine energy, so everybody's just like. And here it's more like.
It's a way higher frequency.
Like
Yes, California is definitely laid back. Even like when I was a kid, I would look at the the TV and I'd see the palm trees and I'd see the hot weather and the girls in the bikinis and I was like, man, I'm gonna live there.
I want to go there.
Yeah. And then my dad's friends would come back with all these cool toys like, and race cars and they'd be like, yeah, I got it from California. I was like, well, how come they don't have none of that stuff out here?
Like toy cars? Or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
As a kid, you want to, play with toys. Huh? Yeah. So that was kind of my fascination with California. Nice. And then I ended up moving here.
How old were you when you moved here?
20.
20?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, if you don't mind me, how old are you now? Because you look like
33.
29?
33 now.
You're 33?
Yeah. Yep. So I'm trying to keep it together.
You look super young. You look super good.
Yeah, man. Ever since I brought detoxing into my life, it kind of slowed down the aging process. Yeah. Still working some stuff out, but it definitely does help with protecting your DNA, so it's not being acidically sauteed and you're withering away your look, your everything, Yeah. But once you have a certain understanding, which a lot of people will after a little bit, they start learning about themselves, because nobody gave us any manuals for this thing that we're controlling,
True.
And everybody thinks that it's all one. But.
And then you have those global beliefs. It's like, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Eat your greens, exercise.
Yeah.
But they don't really say, how to do it, what to do, and all that. Actually, what I'm curious about is, was there something that happened in your life, or some sort of experience that shifted you to like, you know what, I'm gonna take this serious, I want to focus on this?
Yeah, it got pretty serious when I got mercury poisoning. So
really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's crazy.
So I had mercury poisoning, and I was
fish?
I don't know what it was from. I'm vegetarian, so.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Because at the event, Anthony Robbins said that he had mercury poisoning also, and he was at like. I guess the way they measured it, he said he was like at 112.
Yeah.
Oh no, at 150, but now he's at 12.
When was this for him?
Like recently, like he says in the last 2 years he's been slowly detoxing it out.
That's what happened to me too.
But that it has like it causes like memory loss, right?
Yeah.
Short-term memory loss.
I was having panic attacks, blackouts. Yeah. I was crazy. Do you know what mercury does? So mercury has a low boiling point.
Yeah.
So when it gets into the vascular system, it starts deteriorating your vascular system. So it feels like a TV with static, You just feel like you can't get your connections through.
Yeah.
So you just feel static inside. You don't feel like you're in control because this stuff is just withering away your vascular system.
I think I might have mercury poisoning. Because I have that like, where I'm not thinking anything.
You start hallucinating sometimes. You start having panic attacks, blackouts, convulsions.
Really?
Yeah, because your brain can't get its messages through because it's destroying the vascular system.
Well, how does one get mercury poisoning?
Well, a lot of people don't want to realize it, but there's a lot of factors. It could be from food. It definitely could be from fish. It could be from our environment. A lot of people don't look at our environment, what's going on in our atmosphere, things that are there.
Even in the atmosphere?
Oh yeah.
Like small particles that you breathe in and...
Yeah, lots of all that stuff that you see that's in the air, that's a haze, those aren't clouds, So you got to think...
Dust particles that...
Yeah. Yep. And you're breathing this stuff in. So whenever you see those planes or whatever, or, kicking out that extra stuff, I started taking note of that, and then I had a urine test done on me, and there was a whole bunch of heavy metals in my pee. So there was like kind of a lot of aluminum oxide, a lot of stuff that was in there.
Or maybe actually what can be some identifiers of like you might have mercury poisoning, other than
well, just from personal, I noticed that I left my pee in the toilet, and I'd let it sit. And then I know that every time I come back, there'd be like a rainbow in there because of just heavy metals inside my pee. So I was like, man, it kind of looks like those rainbows I see in the sky sometimes when I see like certain, like I have my glasses on, I can see certain like rainbow patterns or colors, or just from that stuff that I see in the, like when you look at the mountains, it's kind of hazy. It's not clear like it used to be. Everybody's like, oh, it's the pollution. I was like, our air is not that polluted.
Yeah.
It's had some help. So you got to understand that there's a lot of kidney epidemics going on right now, you know? So people are breathing this stuff, and you know, your kidneys are what cycles everything in and filtrates at the last before it leaves the body, you know? So people are having kidney issues. They don't understand why. There's a whole bunch of cancer going around. You gotta stop and think. You can't be that what's the word I'm looking for? Naive. You know?
Ignorant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or be like, oh no, that won't happen to us. Like, no, it's happening.
Yeah. What is it? If you're not, I heard this cool quote, but basically saying like, you can't leave it up to somebody else to take care of yourself. Like you have to be the one to find these things, because otherwise you're subject to circumstances. Or something about being in control in circumstances. I forget the quote, but
or kind of like Plato's. Like if you don't involve yourself in the politics, you fall inferior to your
Dang.
kind of like that.
So
I get the gist.
What would you say have been some of the like some of the biggest challenges you faced?
One of the biggest challenges I faced was actually figuring all this stuff out while I was going through it. So, I mean, I really shut down my whole life, and I read a lot of books, and I just had to figure it out. It was kind of like a life or death situation, you know. If you don't figure it out, you're about to get taken under.
Yeah.
And I figured out a lot of good ways to detoxify the blood, electromagnetically, just how to clean the body and ways that actually work, just a whole bunch of stuff. And then when I was done, I felt like a whole new man. You know, like my whole body was different.
So actually that leads me to my next question is like what, after that change, you did the detox and all that, how did that affect your health, your emotions, your physical body, your mind, spiritually, your relationships even with people?
Yeah, it definitely did make me understand more about my body. I understand now that I'm electromagnetic. My whole body system responds off of light. So it made me think twice before I put something into my body. And it made me realize a lot of stuff about the body, kind of like how our whole body communicates off of light on a cellular level, all through your skin and through your eyes, you know, and the sun, it plays a big part.
we're basically plants, right? Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
We need a ground, we need our air. We need water, a lot of water.
Yeah.
Oxygen.
And then you realize the myths, you know. You realize, you know, things about food weren't right. You know, like I had this thing about protein, and I had to eat meat. And all
like
this.
You have to consume all the time,
and then I started realizing that it's a carcinogen. You know, anything really that you put into your body that is over the temperature of 110. Is considered a carcinogen.
Really?
You know? Yeah. So
that's news to me.
The thing that the body loves is liquid sunlight. That's what we eat food for. Yeah, plants.
Photosynthesis, right? Like taking the light, converting.
That's really the nutrients that we. Yeah. So when you think about it, you know, we eat all this stuff all of our lives, and we pretty much kill ourselves. You know, you eat all these things that don't pass through the body because they're dead, and you're putting dead stuff in an alive body. You know.
Yeah.
So remember
like
that charge?
And stuff.
Yeah. So remember that charge you were talking about? Well, our food has a charge too to help move through the body. So when you put dead things in there, has a hard time moving through electromagnetically. So a lot of it gets caught in the body.
And then also what I've found out too is that like when like an animal is killed, there's a lot of stress hormones that are like shot into the bloodstream that go into the meat that you're eating and consuming also.
Correct.
That you take on.
So. And on a molecular level, you do take on their bad hormones that they made before they saw the trauma that they saw, you know, and it's in the blood. And on a molecular level, that's why you don't want to go ahead and take that type of energy. It's kind of like I don't know. Sounds satanic.
Have you ever seen that video? I saw it on this video called "What the Bleep Do We Know," where they talk. I think he was Japanese. I might be missing Dr. something, where he would have like 3 cups of water, and he would put a label on one that said "I hate you," "I love you." And one that just he ignored. Yeah. The "I hate you" one, after a couple days, went black. The "I love you" one, actually no, I think he put rice in them. I know. It was either rice or just the water, but it might have been 2 separate ones.
I think I know what you're talking about. They actually went ahead and froze it.
Yeah.
And then they looked at the patterns.
And I saw another one with rice, so I think I'm mixing those up.
So it was a more harmonizing pattern when, you know, in the "I love you" one. And in the "I hate you" one, it was all broken up. Yeah. It was all just kind of, it didn't look like it had any pattern. And then the ignored one was just kind of like, I'm here, you know? Yeah. But it really does tell you that the intention that you put out there, it's real. On water. And then you think about it, we're, you know, 80% water, so. Yeah. That's a lot of effect here. So you're receiving and transmitting, you know, people's projections of energy, you know, and kind of if you get really good at it, you can't, you can really see what people are feeling, and when you look at, you know, micro expressions, their intention of their blood shows out on their body, you know, so you can look at body language or physiognomy, which is body language of the face. Physiognomy. Yeah. And it's kind of like micro expressions of the face, you know. Yeah, or like say like I got hit by a rock, you know, and I was like, oh man, I got hit by a rock, and then like I saw you do like a slight smirk or something like that, but you're like, oh man, are you all right? Like I know inside, you're happy I got hit. Yeah, you're happy I got hit, you know, or you know, you can tell people's true intentions, you know, but you have to really be aware of it in order to use it. You know, a lot of people, they just don't really pay attention. Yeah. And it's funny too that like how great the mind is, that nobody's trained in these things. There's no book, but we do it. Already know. Yeah. You can like, oh wait. So imagine if you get a bad vibe from somebody. Yeah. Something about this person's look. That's your sixth sense. Yeah. That's the receiving and transmitting of energy. Well, yeah, like you said, we're electromagnetic, and it's information being passed all the time. Like what I believe, it's the heart pulsing these informations, and you're receiving it from somebody else too. So it's like, oh wait. Yeah. Even the term like I have a bad vibe is like you're literally getting bad vibrations. It's kind of like when you go to buy something, you know, and then like when you feel confident or you feel sure you want to buy this because this guy's not going to screw you, then you have that vibe. You're like, oh, this guy's not going to screw me. I'm like, oh, I'm buying it. But if you like, if you know there's like a whole bunch of gross on the deal, like you get a new bike and he's throwing like $3,000 on it, like wait a minute, this guy's screwing me. Or like, I don't know if you've ever had that experience where the same thing, it's like you go in there and they're telling you what you want to hear, but you're like, yes, there's a hidden agenda. Right. And you go for it, and then later you're like, I should have listened to myself. Like you knew it, but you ignored it. And that's the thing that people are gonna learn not to ignore anymore. Why do you say that? That's just pretty much your higher self communicating with you, you know? So whenever your higher self goes ahead and gives you certain emotions, it communicates to you through emotions. So if you get a bad feeling, it's because you got a bad feeling. And a lot of people ignore it, and they're not taught from a young kid. And actually, they came into the world naturally like that, and then they lose it because they ignore it, and certain ways of learning or indoctrinations
And
makes us ignore it.
do you think that men specifically have a harder time picking up on those vibes because societally, culturally, we've been like, I see it changing now where men are more open to like feeling, but back then it's like, nah, whatever. Or we have to play the
macho role.
Macho. We can't be hurt. We can't show our feelings. Can't be vulnerable.
Yeah. I mean, and then now you got a whole different type of with the younger people growing up, where it's like they're going through this matriarchal programming, you know, where they gotta
That's true. Yeah, I haven't even thought of that.
where they gotta like, you know, submit their masculinity, you know, and that's an imbalance. You know, we come into this world balanced. Yeah. And then certain things that we grow up with or programming, it knocks us off our balance. And if we don't know to get back centered, then it can affect you. It can make you not face certain traumas. Yeah. It can make you not realize how to get back to a balance. Yeah. And once everybody realizes that everything is balanced, like if we were talking and you started getting loud, like, okay, that's starting to imbalance the conversation, right? So if you're aware, you can balance it out by not being loud and keeping your calm voice. But if I start getting loud and you start getting loud and we're like, then, you know, that's when everything becomes unstable, emotionally unstable, and things happen, you know.
Would you say, okay, like the example you used, if I'm getting loud, could you also balance it by matching my loudness?
No, that would actually go ahead and excite it more. So it would create more of an imbalance because we got too much negative going on. So basically, I'd have to go ahead and put some positive on there.
But I'm talking in terms of like excitement. Like if I'm, oh my God, and you're like,
everything is a negative and positive energy. So you have to look at it that way. So if you want to control things and be aware of it and be, you know, get out of situations or make things go your way, then you can know how to navigate through life and be a negative or positive situation.
You know, just move it all the way.
It's the yin and the yang, you know?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you had said something about balance. How somebody that wants to get into the, like fix, you know, put their life back into balance. Where can they start? What can they do?
Really, it's situational, you know. But I mean, if you have the foundation of everything needs to be balanced, then you'll know if something's too much, you know. Like if you have like a lady that just like your wife and she just overly loves you, that's great. That's great to be overly loved, but sometimes you'll be like, all right, you need to calm down a little bit. You need to like back up, you know?
Do some stuff.
There's no balance there. So you have to balance everything. And I mean, and if it's too bad, then you got to give it a lot of positive, you know? A lot of people think addicts and drug addicts and stuff like that are just a waste, but really, at the end of the day, they just need a lot of positive energy. Because they're so negative, you know? Everything is positive, negative.
And that's
yin and yang.
That can also, I don't know where I'm going with this. I'll probably edit this. I don't know where I want to take this, but I was thinking of like, I've had friends that have been super negative where I had to remove myself for my own good.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, you got to protect yourself too as well. And you're just as good as your environment, you know? So if you have a lot of negative stuff in your environment, then you got to clear out a lot of negative stuff out if you want to make it more positive and balanced, you know? And if you want to really make your life different, then and you have that foundation, then you look at your life like that. And then you look at the world like that. And then you look at the universe how is it like that?
I posted something earlier today that's like your external world is a reflection of your inner world. You know? Everything is perception. If you know how
you talk to people.
A flat tire can be like, oh God, now I'm gonna be late. I have to pay for this. Oh, why me? Or you can look at it as, oh shit, I got a flat tire. Okay, cool. Like maybe I'm gonna avoid something up ahead. You know, somebody might stop to help me, might be the love of my life.
Or maybe it saved my life from being killed. Or, I don't know. Accident up there, could have been me.
Your perception is
Cup half full or half empty.
Exactly. So I want to talk to you about detoxing the body.
Yeah.
I did a cleanse. You showed me a cleanse like how long ago was that? Maybe
I don't remember.
like 6 years
I've
ago.
done so many.
I think it was like 2014,
Yeah.
13 maybe.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
But I remember I lost, was it like 15 pounds in 2 weeks?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God.
Put you back on.
So why don't you explain the cleanse, the benefits, how to do it, so the viewers, if they want to do it themselves, they can also do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What is it's a 2-week process, you know.
I'm gonna write this
So 2-week process, and when you do a detox, you know, you got to think of all the other detoxes out there. What other detoxes are out there? Got the saltwater cleanse.
Salt with lemon, just water and lemon.
Okay.
Just shake green drinks. There's one that's like all that I know.
There's the fruit juice
the grapefruit
cleanse.
one,
Oh yeah, grapefruit.
Wheatgrass, just straight wheatgrass.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them, right?
Yeah.
But when you think of a cleanse, you got to think of, well, what the heck am I cleansing and how am I doing it, you know?
Yeah.
Or what am I cleansing? So when it comes, when it comes to the human body, in order to conduce more energy, you have to have the body at a certain pH, you know? So when you have the body at a certain pH, pH means potential of hydrogen, and that is a measurement of how conducive a liquid is.
Yeah.
But what is a variable of that is going to be how acidic or how alkaline you are. So the more acidic you are, the less conducive the liquid is, and it won't conduce that much energy. Hence, you were saying your blood cells are negatively charged.
Like a good example is a car battery, right? When they oxidize, it's that they corrode, so there's no flow of energy.
Exactly.
And that's like our blood cells. That's like us. So if they're
That's
oxidized, there's not. Well, help me out here.
Well, the thing is like food is like the corrosion, you know? So if we have positively charged food, that kind of kills the blood. Make sure your blood cells stack up like coins, you know? And they don't do their job. They don't spread out. They don't carry certain things out or carry messages, and they don't do their job. So that's why conduciveness of your blood's plasma is important. And if it's acidic, then it's not going to conduce that much energy, and then everything connected to your vascular system, like your liver, your pancreas, your gallbladder, your kidneys, your lungs, your heart, all that stuff is going to work at a lower frequency, because you're basically a conductor. Your brain is receiving a lot of energy, and your heart is transmitting. But what do you think is powering your heart?
What's powering my heart?
What have you been doing ever since you were born? Oh, you just did it right
Just
now.
breathing. Yeah, just breathing.
Everybody takes that for granted.
Yeah.
But the thing that people don't realize is that our air is a plasma too, and it's electric. It conduces electric. It's like a free energetic source, and that's what's powering your heart. So every time you take a breath, and it powers this, and then every time it hits an EMP, electromagnetic pulse, or a beat, it sends out energy throughout the whole vascular system.
Yeah.
So imagine if you're eating stuff that is going to restrict that energy.
Yeah.
So that's why it's important. That's why I put blood cleansing in my cleanse, and I do this electromagnetically. I use negatively charged minerals, and when they go into the body, they don't digest in the stomach, and they actually go through the alimentary canal, the digestive tract, and they actually go through the intestinal wall, just how your food does, through the villi, little neuron receptors on the intestinal wall, and they pull all the nutrients out. But this is actually going to put the mineral into the bloodstream, and it's going to go ahead and attract all of the virus, bacteria, disease, environmental pollutants, heavy metals, all the things that are positively charged out of the blood. Yeah, so that's why it's important, the blood cleanse, because it will remove the positively charged things that are going to receive the energy.
Yeah.
Because positive receives. It's going to receive your heart's energy and make your other organs at the end of the vascular system work at a lower frequency.
Yeah.
So you want them to be highly powered. And that's why blood cleansing is important. That's why when you get older, you get a little bit less emotional. You have lower energy, you have brain fog, Alzheimer's, because of all of the things that crowd your blood, you know? And they can't send any messages, so everything slows down. So this is going to definitely change your energy and how much longer you live too as well, if you have just an awareness of it. And then also a second part of cleansing is the intestines.
Yeah.
So if you have a protruding stomach or anything like that, they'll let you know that you have fuel in there. Fuel in there that's been left behind, you know.
And
so,
that's visceral fat.
No, that's storage. We'll get to that, fat storage. But if you have a protruding stomach, that usually means you have maybe impacted fecal matter in the intestines that's caught there, you know? So imagine that you're like, where am I getting this extra weight from?
Yeah. Like I'm doing all this working out, but it's not.
And I still got this damn thing, it won't go away.
Sit-ups, but I still have the belly. Yeah.
So what it comes down to is we got leftover fecal matter that's left in there. So in order to get it out, I use a seed blend that will really expand in the intestines. So it goes in there and expands.
Gotcha.
And then there's a mechanism called the peristalsis that actually goes ahead and pumps, or it's a muscle mechanism that goes like this to move the food.
Intestine?
Right.
Oh, okay.
It's an electromagnetic mechanism that moves the food along through the intestine. And as it does this, it digests the food through the villi and everything like that. But in this case, we're using a seed blend where it expands, and as it digests, it actually scrapes the intestinal walls, and it gets rid of all of the impacted fecal matter that may be covering your villi, that gives you the optimum nutrient uptake, you know.
And in a healthy way, not scraping like.
No, healthy way. No, it's all natural. It's just a very sticky seed blend, and it actually biomechanically pulls everything into it. So as it passes through it, biomechanically pulls everything off of the intestinal walls.
And to back up a little bit, you said that there's like impacted fecal matter in there. Can you tell us a little bit about how that gets stuck in there and why?
Well, your guts aren't straight. They're going to be in coils, you know? So in the little cracks and corners and stuff like that, things might get built up.
Yeah.
And it's old stuff. It's like old poop, you know? So it pretty much can rot. It can decompose inside of you. If you have really foul-smelling bowel movements, that would be an indicator that you do have stuff that is in there that needs to come out.
That's actually something that surprised me when I did the cleanse and I would poop. It wouldn't smell.
Well, yeah, it was afterwards. The first one. Yeah. The first one.
And it's so much, and it's black.
Yeah.
That's what, like.
That's the impacted fecal matter.
I was so shocked to. I've never pooped black.
Yeah.
You know.
So a lot of people have this old, it builds mold, fungus inside the body, and it's a constant re-entering into the bloodstream through your stomach, through the villi, you know. Imagine you have that on there and it's just there for years, you know. So imagine how many people have and they're always sick, their stomach always hurts, they're taking dairy down, and dairy's like horrible inside the gut.
Like but probiotics are good, right? Like Greek yogurt.
For me, I like apple cider vinegar with the mother, you know.
Bragg?
Just culture. I like fermentation better, because
what's a good brand for that?
Mothers. I mean, Bragg's with the mothers. Apple cider vinegar. I really love that one. That actually, those cultures get into the gut and puts good acidophilus in there, so that you can overtake the bad bacteria that ends up being released from these impact points of fecal matter. and releasing virus, bacteria, disease. It'll actually break it down and take it away.
And that's also the reason I bought apple cider vinegar was weight loss, because it actually helps control the spike of insulin, right? Sugars.
Yeah, because it breaks it down.
Yeah.
So it gets in there and it really does. It's like a it's like an inner body scrub, you know.
Yeah.
And then also when it gets oxidized in the liver, it turns your blood alkaline too as well. At first it's acidic, so that's the great thing about it, that it really breaks down stuff, and then once oxidized, it turns alkaline.
Yeah, and I remember, what I just want to like touch on is the importance of detoxing the body, because sometimes it's like you have a cup of, let's say, a cup of water, but there's a hole, and it's the getting rid of the waste in your body. But if you're constantly putting in more toxins than your body can get rid of, it's gonna cause like a shutdown where your body's like, yo, this is too much. Like we have to
think of it this way.
You have to stop, and that's what gets you sick, causes disease. And you think about dis-ease is you're not at ease, so you have to. Your body's like, hey, shutdown mode. We need all the energy to get rid of this. So you start sweating, you start throwing up.
Yeah. You have less energy because your body's using energy to fight this thing all the time. So that's why
sending all the energy to that.
That's why when people are done with the cleanse, they're like, man, I feel like I'm back in the 80s. I'm like, I was like, what?
Good times, good dancing.
But think of it this way. So say these are the villi, right? And say these are fresh villi. So your food comes through, and a lot of people, they're diesel engines, but they're putting gasoline in their tank, you know? So you're getting all the gunked up fuel and everything right here, and it builds up and it builds up, and then your body can't receive nutrients from getting any food anymore. So now you got food just rolling over the top of your villi, and you're not receiving nutrients. So then that causes gray hair. You can't get any type of collagen to the skin or anything like that. And that's what we call aging, because you're blocked from the gut. So it's important to clean all this stuff out of your intestinal lining so that you can actually receive nutrients.
And I think that's, that proves how you look at somebody who's been smoking, drinking, eating bad their whole life, and they're 40, but they look 60. And somebody who's 60 who's had like a vegan diet their whole life, they're still lifting weights, they look great, they're moving, they don't have any.
And imagine if they detoxed on top of it.
So
your body repairs its gene. I'm telling you, man, like it's kind of like when you get a cut, you know? What happens?
The body naturally heals itself.
Regenerates, right? So what do you think happens if you were to remove all that stuff? Like, so now say I put poop on your cut now. Is that cut ever going to heal?
No. Bacteria, it's not conducive to...
No. So the same thing goes for inside your body.
Yeah.
So we're going to take all the poop off, and then we're going to let some oxygen get in there, which is the blood flow.
Yeah.
And that brings oxygen to all the points in the body where you want that stuff to regenerate.
Yeah.
So the insides can regenerate. We have amazing bodies. And nobody realizes that, you know what, maybe we can live way past 100, you know? We die by fork.
I think I was talking to my nephew about this, that how like in the Bible, they had said something about, I'm not really into religion too much, but how there was a passage that like, I think it was Adam and Eve were like 700 or something, but that's before the times of fast food, hamburgers, processed foods were people, before.
All positively charged food, which is you're literally killing yourself, you know? And it gets caught in your fat storage, all kinds of stuff. And that brings me to the next part. You have your blood cleanse, and you also have your intestinal cleansing, and then next is cleansing the fat storage. So the great thing about this cleanse is that it puts your body into a mode called ketosis, which is your body's natural form, where it uses the fat, utilizes it as energy. So this is where you get heavy regulation. And people don't understand that we have two different types of energy in the body, whether it be glucose, which is alcohol, sugar, and carbs.
Yeah.
And if you look in everything, if you look on the back of everything,
carbs,
sugar.
Yeah.
So what do you think is happening to your fat storage if you're always on the alternative source? What do you think all the fat that you intake, is it being used or is it being stored?
It's being stored.
Exactly. So the great thing about this cleanse.
Obesity epidemic.
Great thing about this cleanse is that we're taking away that, all the glucose. And it takes about 3 days, 4 days to actually for it to cycle through your blood and throughout your urine and bowels, and then your body will metabolically shift. So when this metabolic shift happens, it makes your fat storage readily available to be used as energy.
Yeah.
And this is the great part about the cleanse because it regulates the fat storage too as well.
Yeah.
And I use a amino acid blend and a few other pH alkalizers in the body too as well. Apple cider vinegar is one too as well. It puts you at a real deficit where you use fat at a very high exponential rate.
Oh man.
So as you see, like when you're done with the cleanse, your face came back,
man.
your jawline came back.
Jawline from high school, so I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah, and then you lose a lot of, we fought fat with fat, pretty much. So I put the amino acid with fat.
Yeah.
And there's different types of fat in the body. You can pinpoint where you want by using the right Trojan horse, you know? Which is a little tip out there. But when you're in ketosis and you're ingesting fats and it's going to where that type of fat is stored, that's how you can combat the fat storage and make it drop at a high exponential rate. So think about all those other cleanses that we talked about, and then think about does it have the format of a blood cleanse, an intestinal cleanse, and also a fat storage cleanse. All the things that need to be cleansed in order for your body to operate at a high optimal rate. And that's why it's so effective. That's why you lost 15 pounds in 2 weeks.
Such a short time span. Without even working out, it was just getting rid of all the raw meat that was in there. It's crazy how much we walk around with.
Yeah, it is crazy. 15, 20 pounds of just waste, slowing you down. You just walk around with just a trash bag inside you. You're just like, oh man.
It's mind blowing. Like, oh, how does, I don't know.
So when people put this 2 and 2 together, which they probably are right now, they're like, oh my God, where do I get this cleanse at? But that's why it makes it so successful. I mean, the past fight, I've never had anybody be like, this doesn't work, or it works 100% of the time, 100% of the people. I've never had anybody, unless they cheated, you know, where it doesn't work.
It's hard too. I remember doing it and like, I don't know why, I told my mom I was gonna do this and I did it. And then, I don't know if it's like a motherly instinctual thing, like, oh, my son's not eating. He needs to eat.
Yeah, and that's the problem.
So she started cooking all my favorite foods.
Oh God.
To tempt me, and it was so, I was like, oh my God. Like, why are you making pozole? Why are you making lasagna? Why are you making all these like spaghettis that I love? Like all my favorite food that she doesn't do when I like, hey, you know, let's. But I'm like, oh, I'm not eating right now. I'm doing a cleanse. Okay. Well, I made this. You know? And I found myself smelling foods a lot more. Like my.
Well, it opens your senses up. You know, I mean, even your vision gets better when you remove heavy metals from the body, or environmental pollutants, or anything like that. Your senses become more keen. Like when you're a kid. Think about when you smelled stuff when you're a kid. You know. Think about how it felt to be a kid.
So everything. I was just.
Think about your emotions.
So curious.
When you cried and you started sniffling. Oh my God. And you want to know why? Because the electrical flow was so much, you had nothing resisting that energy. And that's why when you get older, you get old and you get grouchy. And you get
you're not
grumpy.
You're not feeling anymore.
You're not feeling those hormones that are being made and being dispersed to the body.
And you said something about that last time, was that that there's, through the intestines, there's hormones being pumped into the blood, right? That are like can cause depression or, you know, things like that.
Well, basically the restriction of of the energy flow through your body, and also the crowding of the bloodstream, because there's red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets, and plasma, and then whatever your hormones are that are in the body that gives your body instructions. But if you have all that, red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets, plasma, and hormones in there in your bloodstream, giving your body instructions and feelings, and then you have positively charged food, waste, heavy metals, environmental pollutants, all that on top of it, it's going to be hard for your body to pick up those hormones and to do what it's supposed to do, because you have all that crowding your blood. You have high pathogenic blood. So that's why it's important to get the pathogens out so that your body can work correctly. And that's what the blood cleanse does.
Dang.
Yeah.
Nice. So let's get into it. So what if somebody wants to do this cleanse? Let's take step by step. What do they need to get? Quantities, when to take them? I
don't really give out the recipe.
Okay, gotcha.
It's a house-made recipe.
Gotcha. Okay.
If they do want to do the cleanse, I do provide programs, detox programs, and everything like that.
Where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Body by Cutz. And I do a lot of detoxification for weight loss, also for people that compete in shows, bodybuilding shows, men's physique, bikini, or you just want to just do it for just your own knowledge, but basically that is the basis of everything, and what it does, and then we have some we'll do some other lessons on biochemical things too as well, and also electromagnetic things that you can use to do this, and everybody can do it at home too as well. For the blood cleansing, I use negatively charged minerals, so things like bentonite are really good. That is a negatively charged mineral. It's a clay. That's what you use. For the intestinal cleansing, I use a psyllium seed plus the husk. So a lot of people, they use the husk, But the thing is that the husk is just sticky, But the thing that the seed does is that it actually expands and gives it a certain consistency. So it works a lot better. If you look online, you can get things. Just remember, I told you about the seed too. The seed is important. And for the fat burners, I was using fat. I was using natural, unrefined oils like coconut oil, MCT oil. And you can target which fats you want to go ahead and target. There's 3 different types of fat in the body. There's saturated fat, or visceral fat, which is the stomach fat. And you can fight that by using different types of fat. So if you want to target the stomach fat, then you can use maybe just the hard coconut oil, and mix that with an amino acid that breaks down fat. There's also unsaturated fats, like in the neck and in the arms and stuff like that. That stuff you can target with regular MCT oil, the liquefied one.
MCT oil, that is
the oil that you use.
The silver bullet?
No. It's just regular MCT oil. It's just clear.
Oh, okay.
Coconut oil.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Medium chain triglycerides.
Okay.
And that is the unsaturated fat. It's loose. Even if it's in the refrigerator or if it's outside, it's still loose. So it has a different type of bond to it. So if you mix that with amino acid, then it'll go ahead and break down neck fats and arm fats and things like that. So you see how you basically use it as a Trojan horse, and you ingest it with the amino acid, and then when it metabolizes, it goes to that fat storage.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
It's like you're sculpting.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So you're getting all of the juicy secrets here, man.
That makes
I was reluctant at first.
Yeah.
And then I was like, all right, I'm gonna tell him.
Well, this is to help.
Yeah, absolutely.
To help the people.
Absolutely, yeah. If it's not good for everybody, then it's not good for you.
Yeah.
So definitely it's good for everybody.
Yeah.
And then there's polysaturated fats, connective tissue and stuff like that. Those ones can get a little fatty, and that's where it's not too much in the body as much as the unsaturated fat areas and the saturated fat areas.
Connective tissue, is that like?
Joints and connecting muscle and all that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, those can get fatty too.
Nice.
Yeah, so it kind of will help out your body work a lot better.
Yeah.
But this is just what everybody should know, how to detoxify the body. They should know more about how their body works
and flushing it out, right, with a ton of water.
Oh, a ton of water, yeah. Ton of water. Yeah, I use during a detox process, I do use distilled water because there's no other pathogens in it, and it has a different type of charge. And also, when there's no pathogens, say like the water molecules in regular spring water, the water would have so much, it'd be thick to where it can't fall through the cell walls and organ walls and stuff like that. So think about what water you drink, and think about how you get water gut, because it's not passing through anything or hydrating
that's
everything
like
else.
the shaking where you feel it, right? You're like, okay.
High pathogenic water. So distilled water, it goes in and it falls into everything.
And that's like highly absorbable.
And also it's more charged, so it actually will pull out everything positively charged, good minerals and bad minerals.
Oh man.
So that's why
so
they say distilled water is bad, but it's because it does pull out good and the bad.
Yeah.
But after you're done on the second week of the detox,
you're putting back all the good.
We're remineralizing you and we're revitalizing you, and also we're slamming you with vitamin D and making it to where you can communicate a lot better and receive a lot of those minerals. Because without vitamin D, the sunlight, you can't receive. Your body doesn't know how to receive those minerals and vitamins and make them go to where they need to go.
Yeah.
So it's important afterwards, get a lot of sunlight, take a lot of vitamin D3.
Oh man, I look like a vampire. I remember I was so like, I had like
oh yeah, your body was still
tired.
detoxing,
I was like, oh man.
You might even notice a little smell,
Really?
Yeah, because sometimes, a lot of stuff gets caught in the fat storage.
So it's just being excreted?
It's being excreted.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I remember one time, one of my buddies, and it's a dude. I was like, dude, you smell like fish. I was like, what's going on? And he just had this fish smell. I was like, look, man, I think you need to go a little bit more to actually push it a little bit more out, and it did him justice.
Can somebody do it too long?
Yeah, you don't want to strip your body completely, because it really is stripping everything out. You're basically emptying the cup out, and you're putting only good stuff back in. And good bacteria. You're putting new CFUs, because the culture in that mother inside the apple cider vinegar is a culture. So when you ingest this, that culture actually will grow within the gut and help you combat with acidosis of the stomach and bad bacteria. But that's why I like the fermentation, sauerkrauts and apple cider vinegar, not so much more the dairy, because dairy can be a little bit different inside the system.
Yeah, ever since then.
Creates mucus.
Yeah. Since I did the cleanse, I wasn't able to drink regular milk, only almond milk.
Oh, you'll notice that. A lot of people, after they're done with the cleanse, they have all the stuff, taken off the intestinal wall, and they can actually feel what they eat again.
Yeah, I took a small sip of milk, and I threw it up.
Yeah.
My body was like, ugh.
So imagine what people are doing to their babies.
I know.
You know, they're introducing these positively charged foods into their babies and desensitizing them and starting the process of.
I get so worked up when I see a baby that has like Coke in their like Coca-Cola bottle, or their mom's giving them like apple juices, and I was like, that's so much sugar, or even
the concentrated stuff, you know.
Yeah, or even
those powdered baby milks, you know.
Yeah,
God, loaded with heavy metals.
and even like heavy stimulants, coffees, pre-workouts.
Yeah. They blow out your adrenal glands.
Drugs even too. It's like it's like, oh man, that's, I don't know. Like me, I know it's a lot less now, but coffee was a big thing.
Yeah.
I had a coffee this morning, to be honest. I was like, oh.
Well, you know the thing about coffee though, right?
It's acid.
Yeah.
It's all acid.
And then on top of that, you know, if you're getting it from Starbucks.
Oh no, I got it. Well, it was some other place. It was like.
Well, we don't want to talk about names.
Yeah.
But a lot of those beans are roasted in acrylamide, you know?
Yeah.
So when you go ahead and you see some of the beans, they're shiny and they're roasted, be careful what they're roasted in, because when they grind it up and then they run that hot water over it, whatever chemical or whatever is brewed into the coffee, it comes out into the coffee and goes into your body.
Yeah.
So if you leave, just test your coffee.
Oh, I can't have Starbucks coffee.
Yeah, but I'm saying test all coffees.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I remember I used to drink coffee, and I'd leave it there, and then I'd see a rainbow on top, you know, which was kind of like, I was like, yeah, heavy metals or chemicals or whatever it may be.
Yeah. Something about Starbucks has a.
They have that sign right there on the.
Yeah, it's very different from many other coffees. It's like this is a special, specific type of coffee. Like, it doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah,
have coffee.
it definitely does have certain things. It's roasted in certain things. It even says it. It says acrylamide on that plaque.
Kind of thing.
But it says that the beans are roasted in acrylamide. So imagine when it's ground up, and then they pour water on top, and then brew it, and then you drink it.
Acrylamide is a metal?
Acrylic.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, shit. I'd like to thank our sponsor, Starbucks, today.
Yeah, so imagine you're just poisoning yourself 2-3 times a day, you know? And it's the widest spread coffee out there, you know? But people are waking up, and people are starting to realize what they're putting into their bodies. They're starting to realize what they're doing, and they're starting to be more energy conscious of their bodies too as well. Spiritually conscious.
I'm excited.
Psychologically conscious.
Like, the world's in a
crazy place.
But I'm excited for it because it's bringing up all these. Our consciousness is rising. We're getting rid of old systems that don't work. Mm-hmm. It's beautiful.
We're starting to be ourselves and get back to our center.
We're remembering.
As opposed to what we're programmed and imprinted on to do, you know?
Breaking down those old structures that no longer work.
Yeah. Nobody's ignoring their inner selves anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like your inner self is like, all right, you gonna listen to this or you gonna listen to me? I've been telling you all this time. Yeah. You know I've been right.
That connection to our higher selves is just streamlining. Mm-hmm. Well, I think to finish it off, like, what would be a good diet plan that you would recommend? What should people be eating more of and less of? I mean, I know we pretty much said the same things that are like, but specifically, like, okay.
Just remember.
To start out, somebody who's starting out. Like,
starting out.
What do you recommend?
I would start getting rid of anything that's dead. I mean, you got to think of it like this. Just keep this basis. You're either going to eat dead or you're going to eat alive, you know? So anything that you're going to put in your alive body, you want it to be alive too as well. And just keep in mind that things that are over 110 degrees becomes a carcinogen, something that actually will receive power instead of conducing it.
Yeah. So don't eat anything dead or over 110 degrees. Anything else?
I mean, I think that's a good basis right there. It gets pretty complicated, so even for me, I'm still learning to break old programs and but just being vegetarian, period, for the past 5 going on 6 years, changed my life tremendously. Changed how my body reacts to things, and now even if I even try to put anything dead into my body, I feel it. Yeah, I just get sick. My body's like, what are you doing? It just straight slaps me. It's like, hey, you know you ain't supposed to be doing that.
Yeah.
So it kind of gave me the opportunity that I didn't have when I was a baby, you know, to say no to this stuff, or, you know, and now I'm that sensitive again, you know. Even like it changes your emotions too as well. You feel more. You can feel a lot more energetic transmission between people. It just changes you, you know. You're not so just. I can't really pinpoint it, but you feel a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
it's like one of those things you can't describe. You can only feel it.
Yeah. Okay, and then I would add, I don't know if you agree with this, if you can drink a gallon of water a day.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, and the best alkaline water that you can drink, it's not gonna be the stuff in the store, you know. What I do is I make my own alkaline water, and I use organic lemons. I use.
And that's the yellow ones, correct? Or the green ones are okay too?
Yeah, limes too. The thing, you ever heard of a Baghdad charger in like Egypt? Where they put like copper electrodes down there, and they put lemon juice down there.
Oh, it's lemon
And they
juice.
actually powered certain things, and it was from the atmosphere of our Earth, you know? And that's how they powered things. So what do you think it does to your bloodstream? Lemons, the citrus from it actually powers things. So it alkalines you. It puts alkalinity to make you more conducive.
I want to become Goku, man. Just like have this feel.
Hey, well, the perfect alkaline water is going to be water, sea salt, and then lemon juice. That's the perfect alkaline water. It's natural. It really does alkaline your blood and make you more conducive and make your organs work at a higher frequency. The stuff that they got in the stores, it still has a high viscosity, a lot of ppms, parts per million. And it makes it to where it really doesn't really hydrate you. That's why I use distilled, I use sea salt, and I use lemon. And
so for like a daily basis, you drink distilled with?
No, I'll have spring water too. I did drink distilled when I detox, but when I want to make alkaline water, just because I don't want any other pathogens in there, I put for my alkaline water, I put distilled water, I put sea salt, and I put lemon juice, and it just has that in the pathogens of the water. And then my regular drinking water, I'll still have spring water because we need those minerals.
Do you put lemon in that also?
Yeah.
Alkalize that?
I do that too, yeah. I'll be at the dinner table, I'll put sea salt in there. And then people are like,
look
what?
At you like, what?
What are you doing putting salt in your...
They're like,
Yeah, they just don't know.
And I felt that's such a... you really do feel a big difference with that.
Yeah,
like,
you do. Better energy.
What I do too is I do a lot of breathing techniques to, you know,
that helps with the lymphatic
absorb,
system.
Yeah, the pump to drain it all out. I drink a lot of water and movement, exercising, rebounding to get that all out. But anything else you'd like to add? Actually, I want to ask you this question. So, knowing what you know now, not just in health, but in all areas of life, business, relationships, spirituality. So knowing what you know now, if you can go back in time and meet yourself at, say, 13, 14, and you had like 3 minutes with yourself, you just show up, hey, Cutz, I have to go, but you need to know these 3 things. What 3 things would you tell yourself?
Man. It would be detox, eat alive, and and don't smoke. Yeah, because that's pretty much around 13. I was smoking cigarettes. Yeah, but yeah, smoking is bad. Eating dead is bad, and not detoxing is bad. Those are the 3 things I would say right there.
All right, cool. Well, you can find them on Body by Cutz on Instagram. Follow them.
Body by Cutz with a Z.
With the Z, yeah. It's a big distinction. Body by CUTZ. If you follow them, take a picture, your story, tag them, tag me.
If you're interested, you can DM, direct message.
Yeah, let us know what you think. If you have any questions, direct them at.
I won't bite.
And yeah, man, this is a pleasure. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I can give you a hug.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
See you. Let's do this again sometime.
Yeah, we'll do some other cool lessons.
Yeah.
We'll learn about some cool subjects, and people can learn out there. But I think that just getting this information out to everybody, people are going to open up their minds.
Yeah, definitely shifted my life.
Good.
Sweet. Alrighty, guys. Well, see you on the next one. Peace.